Hello students, welcome back to the class. In the economics chapter number 4, we are dealing with the banking and monetary policy. In this chapter, we have concluded up to now the meaning, the primary functions and the secondary functions of the commercial banks. In today's session, we are going to talk about the presence of commercial banks in our nation. That means the presence of commercial banks in India. Friends, we know what are the commercial banks now, right? But if we start from a bit of the history, in the previous times there were only the public sector banks. Currently we can see numerous banks, right? Some of them are private, some of them are public. But at first, at the startup, there were only the public sector banks. There was no private sector bank. The private sector bank arrived in India after 1991 economical reforms. But we have understood about these reforms in the last year 11th standard. Now, after these reforms, the three major concepts were taken: liberalization, privatization and globalization. Due to privatization, there were many institutions which were formed by the government to help the economy and the different people of the nation, right? And then all those institutions, due to this privatization, had been converted into the private sectors. Right, so some of them are HDFC, IFCI, SIDBI, IDBI. These were the government units, right, and that had been converted into the private sector. So in India, after 1991, the private sector bank arrived. After that, the international banks also started. That means the banks from the international level came to India, and many of the Indian banks became international. Say for example, State Bank of India and BOB. They went international, they went global, as well as the Citibank and the HSBC Bank. Those arrived into India. So the international banking started due to the international banks in India. Then non-banking organizations, the organizations which are working, which are functional in the money market, in the financial market, but they are not the actually banks, they are just providing the facilities like bank. Again, I would say the institutions which are providing the facilities like bank, right, and they are working into financial market, but actually they are not the bank, they are the institutions which are working as a bank, just like the bank. They are known as non-banking organizations, right? So all those non-banking organizations also took place in our economy, and at last the cooperative banks, those also started, right? As the private sector grew up, the cooperative societies grew up, and then the cooperative groups have started their own banks to help the people among them only. That means each and every person would go and deposit the money, and from those all money which has been collected, the person who is in need will be given the loan. So that's how the cooperative banks works. So guys, this is the startup, how the different kind of banks came into existence in India. Now let's talk about the scheduled banks. At first, I would like to make one note over here. This question is most important because it has been asked many times in 1 mark, right? What is the meaning of scheduled banks? Right? So if it is asked, you are supposed to write down the answer up to this in 1 mark, and if it is for the 2 marks, right? So in the 2 marks you need to answer this as well as this, and this is quite important questions, frequently asked questions, so you need to prepare this question very well. So what are the scheduled banks? The companies listed in Schedule 2 of RBI Act 1934, right? As the basic definition of the commercial bank says, each and every banking company which are listed, that means which are there in the list of RBI Act 1934 and Schedule 2. RBI has prepared a schedule list, right? It is called, as of the RBI Act 1934, it is called the Schedule 2. Now, each and every bank which are listed in the Schedule number 2 of the RBI Act 1934, they are known as the scheduled banks. So, what are the type of the scheduled banks which are being included, right? So, here we have the types. At first, the scheduled banks come in 2 types. The first one will be the commercial and second will be the cooperative banks. Just now over here only I made you understood about the concept of the cooperative banks, right? The cooperative societies which have formed their own bank to help their own group, right? So that's the first type in the scheduled bank. The main type in the scheduled bank is the commercial banks, which we are studying right now, right? So in the commercial banks, there are 4 different types. The first type is the public sector bank. That means all of the banks you can name which are or which were the government sector first, right? Say for example, State Bank of India, State Bank of Punjab, State Bank of Mysore, Bank of Baroda, right? Or you can say the Dhanlaxmi Bank. These all were the bank, right? Dena Bank. These all were the banks which are the public sector, that means which are being run by the government norms, right? So these are known as the public sector bank. The first part in the commercial bank. The second type of the commercial bank is the private sector, that means the private business entities who are dealing with the banking system. Say for example ICICI, right? Or you can name the Kotak Mahindra, or you can name the Axis Bank, right? You can name the HDFC Bank. These all are the private sector banks, right? After the private sector banks, the third one is the multinational banks, which are functional in India. The multinational banks, or we can say the foreign banks, which are working in India, that means the Citibank, the HSBC Bank. Okay, and the last type is RRB, that means the regional rural banks, the banks which are formed just to help the rural people, right, at the regional level to the remote areas, right? The banks for them is called the RRBs. So friends, these are the types of the scheduled banks. So I hope you guys are quite clear that how the commercial banks are present in India. This is the whole presence. How did it start? Then what are the scheduled banks and what are the types of the scheduled banks? I hope you guys are quite clear with this. Now I would like to conclude my session over here. Tomorrow we are going to talk about the central bank, that means the Reserve Bank of India, right? So tomorrow we are going to talk about the central bank, the meaning and the functions of them. Till then I would like to ask you a leave. I'll see you in the next session with the new topic. Goodbye, take care, have a nice time, stay home, stay safe. Thank you.